Reddit, what's the worst Valentine's Day you've had?
I gave a rose to my crush in high school, in person. She threw it away as soon as I turned my back.
Being alone and unloved on a day when all the couples are rubbing your face in it sucks. Hell, I'd take having anybody rubbing it in my face at this point. In high school I went out for Valentine's Day with my then boyfriend. We had been dating for almost a year, but this was the first time we ever really went anywhere. Typical high school relationship, I guess. So we got dinner, and right before we left we exchanged presents. I was going to a fine arts school at this point, so I had made him something in class that I was really proud of and hid a gift card to a store he loved inside. He gave me one of those $5 stuffed animals from Walgreens and just kind of threw it at me, with no card or anything. After that we're walking to the car, he's taking up the entire sidewalk almost, so I'm trying to walk through the mushy grass, it had been raining, in heels. I fall in the mud, practically ruin my dress, and he laughs at me. The worst part is that he didn't even take the present I worked so hard to make for him, he accidentally left it at my house when he dropped me off. I still have it, too.
In 6th grade I had a crush on a girl and I wanted to send her a rose, something the school did, but I didn't want her to know it was me. My handwriting is incredibly distinguishable and I was really shy, so I paid one of my friends $1 to write her name and "Happy Valentine's Day, from your secret admirer," on the card. He went to the desk set up at lunch and turned in the card. Everyone at my lunch table, I should have mentioned this took place during lunch, watched as one of the teachers delivered the card to Lauren. For that was her name. We continued to watch as she smiled and giggled with her friends. She then jumped up and ran to the desk where they were selling the card/roses, wrote some stuff down and then ran back to her table. A few moments later, the teacher got up and walked over to my table. She gave a card to my friend, that I paid to write the note. It was from Lauren. She had recognized his handwriting, and wanted to go on a date. He got up and went to her table and accepted the offer. Jackass. They went on a date, and were dating, as much as 6th graders can be, for the rest of the year. She moved to El Paso at the end of the school year. Never to be seen again. The first time I bought a flower/flowers for a girl, she turned out to be allergic to them. Never done it since. I was with a girl who was absolutely in love with me, talking about marriage, pets, kids, etc. On our 3rd V-Day, at dinner I looked at her and it hit me. I realized I had lost any feelings I had for her. Nice girl, cute, treated me great, would have made a fantastic wife. I just lost those feelings. Sucks to know it's not your fault the way you feel, but to realize this poor soul is going to be crushed. It's been 5 years and I still feel like shit for that. This happened to me once, from the other side. We were sitting at her favorite restaurant for our 1-year anniversary, and she turns to me in the middle of dinner and says something like, "Well, we gave it a good shot, didn't we?" Huh. I mean, hasn't it been long enough? Isn't this over yet? Whoa. A year is a long time. We made it a year, that's good enough, isn't it? You mean? I think we should break up now. I did not finish my entree. I asked a girl out on Valentine's Day with a gift I had handmade, LEDs, microcontroller, soldered it, the whole 9 yards. Didn't get to go out to dinner with her on Valentine's Day, uneasy face, rejected. And it still hurts.
I was 17. My boyfriend of a year broke up with me over the phone while I was visiting my dad in another city. An hour later, my mother called sobbing because she'd had a knockdown drag-out fight with her boyfriend. My stepmom had been verbally abused and then called into work by her heinous boss. It was a Saturday. My poor shell-shocked father, dealing with 3 crying women, tried to make it better by taking my stepmom and I to a movie at the end of the day. My stepmom was really late getting out of work, so we missed the movie we wanted to see and settled for something none of us really cared about, just so we'd have something to do. After the movie we went to dinner. My dad dropped my stepmom and I off in front of the restaurant and then pulled around the corner to park and was hit by an oncoming car. He was fine, but the car was totaled. Worst Valentine's Day ever.
I am 31, happily married and have never received a Valentine's card. I've sent one, so not getting anything back was a bit disappointing. Not bothered about it anymore though.
In high school I was crazy about this one girl. But she had a boyfriend, so I stayed firmly in the trusted friend category. Well, early February comes around, and she breaks up with her boyfriend. We plan to meet up for dinner a day or two before Valentine's Day. I'm stoked. I buy her a Valentine's Day teddy bear, and I'm seriously gonna ask her out, tell her my feelings, etc. Well, I pull up to her house, and she comes out, and the first thing she says to me is, "Me and my boyfriend got back together. Aren't you happy? That sucks." I was alone last Valentine's Day. In 6th grade I asked a girl in my class out on Valentine's Day. Before she could answer, my female teacher said quite loudly, "Hey, you're not going to go out with that loser, are you?" She might have been joking, but it didn't sound like it. The girl I asked out went from having a smile on her face to a disappointed look. She then turned to my tear share and said, "No," while I made the walk of shame back to my desk. It was the V-Day after my ex-wife said she was leaving me. There was a lot of crazy exchanges and communication back and forth after she moved out. I think it was February 2-3 RD when she officially moved out, and by V-Day she already had a new boyfriend.
First Valentine's Day I had a boyfriend, he dumped me. Only he didn't even do the dumping, but made my friend tell me when I arrived to meet him with his gift. High school. I had been dating this guy for almost a year, and this was the first Valentine's Day where I wasn't single. He went to a different college and lived about 2 hours away from me. I was planning on driving out there on Valentine's Day so we could spend the day together. He came out to visit me the weekend before, but I got violently ill. I spent the whole weekend throwing up bile, and when I finally went to the hospital Saturday night, I had diabetic ketoacidosis. I spent the rest of the weekend plus some of the week in the hospital. The ex-boyfriend grudgingly came out and visited me in the hospital after I bitched him out on the phone. He didn't want to drive to Seattle to see me because he was afraid of driving in the city and it was a pain in the ass for him. I was released the day before Valentine's Day and he still expected me to drive out. Especially since I was missing school and work, because I could barely walk without passing out. I needed time to recover. We ended up getting into this huge fight because he was being a selfish bitch. I'm still bitter about it 3 years later.
Completely honest, I don't really remember/care about Valentine's Days. I'm pretty sure I had a GF 2 years ago on Valentine's Day, but I don't remember what happened. Maybe we were broken up at the time. Is Valentine's Day the 14th or 18th? I legitimately can't remember. Well, here is my story. I became best friends with a wonderful girl 3 years ago. Last Valentine's Day I planned on taking her out to dinner and dropping the bomb on how I felt about her. She told me being friends was for the best. I was sad. We ended up going out later in the school year, senior at the time.
Thanks for watching. Please comment, like, share and subscribe. The Internet Surfer on YouTube for more horror and scary stories.